Shorty,
What's crazy is I only fought initially, well, for two reasons. One, because my father, gang upbringing, wanted me to fight. It just so happened that I had to learn how to defend myself against my very aggressive father that, if you want to say, had kind of like a tough learning type of thing. And I learned a lot very fast, to say that. And then my brother being 8 years older, naturally had to learn how to defend myself. But then also 90s era kid, Attitude Era in wrestling, Dragon Ball Z became popular, all this anime came out, Power Rangers was really popular. So for me, I wanted to fight. Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, anything I watched on TV was aggressive, so naturally I was fighting Ninja Turtles, all that stuff. So I was like, man, Michelangelo from Ninja Turtles can do it. I see these people as role models, let me be like them, and the only way I know how is to fight for good. So for me, I want to leave the legacy that I fought everyone that had a name, everyone that I could possibly fight. I fought at 2 weight classes. I tried to fight at 3 when I was in my first promotion when I went pro. I tried to claim as many belts as I could, and for me, I wanted to show not just myself, my neighborhood, my family, and everyone around me that if this shorty can do it, why can't you?
All right, guys. So today we have a special guest. It's Jose Shorty Torres. Um, how are you doing today, Shorty?
I'm doing great, man. I can't complain. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. So, guys, Jose has a near perfect amateur record. He's a two-time champion in Titan FC. Actually, the first ever to have been a double champ in Titan. He competed in the UFC and former Brave CF flyweight champion. That is amazing. You have such a huge portfolio that it's really really impressive. But first, I want to say happy Mexican Independence and National Hispanic Heritage Month.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. As I'm in Mexico City right now, so everyone's enjoying themselves, family festivals, parades, so it's a great time. But my resume, I've done a lot in my amateur career, and I fought the best very early in my career, and I hope to, I'm only 33 years old, so hopefully I have a lot more time in my career. So I'm hoping to gain more championships, or if not, fight in different countries and fight really high ranked people to add to that resume.
Cool, cool. So, Jose, you've had such a long career. Can you tell us how it all started for you?
Well, I started martial arts when I was 4 years old with Shotokan Karate. Eventually received my black belt in that. My family moved, eventually joined wrestling at 14. I lost a bet. I didn't want to join wrestling, but somehow I didn't make the basketball team. I wonder why. But so I joined wrestling, and when I was 16, I found a local MMA gym called Combat Do that I trained at before it closed down in my area for 12, 15 years. I mean, a very, very long time. Received my black belt under that system. And, when I was 18, I decided to, do my first amateur fight. I lost my first amateur fight by split decision. And the crazy thing was, I was that arrogant, cocky teenager because I knew I was talented. I just, needed to get beat up to, no, I still needed to train and work, not just use my natural skill. And when I showed up to my amateur debut, my opponent didn't show up. I was supposed to fight another guy, 0-0 at flyweight, and the promoter comes to me and goes, "Hey, do you still want to fight?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, of course. I'm here. My family's here. I sold tickets." He goes, "Well, you can bump up to bantamweight and fight the champion. The champion's 5-0. This is his last fight before he turns pro. So they want to obviously use me to make him 6-0, and then he turns pro and has a better resume." And so I was like, yeah, I don't care. I'll fight him. And I know I lost the first round. I started slow. I wasn't used to wrestling. Again, it was MMA. I was already a multiple time Muay Thai champion and a college wrestling All American, but I never put the two together. I wasn't an MMA fighter, so I was just, a fighter. I want to box. All right, let's box. Oh, you want to wrestle? Okay, let's wrestle. But I never did MMA. And
Ah,
so I got out wrestled the first round. Second round, I beat him up. And the third round, it was back and forth. I beat him up, he take me down. I beat him up, he take me down. And even though I believe I won the fight, I lost. They gave the split decision to him. And I was like, I looked at it obviously sad, depressed, my first ever loss, especially my first fight in my career. But if I didn't lose that fight, I wouldn't have been humbled. I needed that to win 25 straight wins after that because I know if I would have won that fight, I would inevitably lost because I went to train this hard. Losing, even though it sucks, it gives you that proper pain to go, I never want to lose again, or at least I don't want to lose this way again. Let me stop whatever he did to me in my next fight. Let me get better and better and better. So 25 straight wins, multiple world championships and titles as an amateur. And then I eventually turned pro and I just wanted to fight the best. I was that person that I remember when I won the championship for Titan, my promoter was like, "Hey, we'll find you a proper fight. You're only 3-0, already a world champion professional. We'll find you a proper fight, so you don't hurt yourself early in your career." And I was like, "I want to fight the best.
Yeah.
Like I don't. I'm champion. I believe I should fight the number one guy, the number two guy, the number three guy. I want to go in order. I don't want to do a popularity contest or play safe fights and then they're boring because they're too easy." So I ended up fighting a guy who was 19-2. Then I bumped up a weight class and fought a guy who was 17-7. So for me, I just wanted to fight the best. And even though they were tough, if I lost, I looked at it as I was supposed to lose. If I won, I proved everyone wrong. And that was my goal. Plus, I was afraid of these fighters
Ah,
because of such a big record, such a big resume. I wanted to fight people I was afraid of because I knew it would make me train harder. If I fought guys, and even today, I think that's why I've lost, my last two fights where I made it a lot closer because I'm like, I know I could beat this guy.
mm,
I'm gonna win the scorecards, and then obviously judges see it the other way. But I look at it as I'm not afraid of these guys, so I don't need to train as hard, or I don't need to force a knockout super fast, or force a fight. I can just have fun and do this and do that. And for me, I need to be afraid. I need to be scared. So I'm definitely excited to fight again. But the fact is, I just decided to test myself against some of the best, and it just came with belts on the side.
cool, cool, cool. But that being said, what reason did you get into martial arts? I mean, everybody had different reasons. Some people were bullied, some people had too much energy, they wanted to stay out of trouble. What was that reason for you to get you started in martial arts? I know you said you started in Shotokan karate.
So I had two reasons. One was my own, and one was my father's. So my father was a gang leader in Chicago, a very powerful figure, and even at times a very aggressive father. You either play fought with him because we're having fun, or I got beat up because I was in the way and he was mad. So for me, I needed to learn how to defend myself. Plus, my brother being 8 years older, naturally he's gonna bully me every once in a while or teach me how to fight. So I had to learn. But with that being said, my father wanted me to be a fighter. So he goes, "We're gonna put you in the gym." My father also knew if I hung out with him too much that I was going to be like him, eventually maybe join the gang or do bad stuff. So he goes, "We're going to keep you in the gym. I want you to learn how to fight and we're going to keep you there." My mom spent every single day taking me to the gym and she used her time wisely or for what she could to take me to everything so I can be in sports and off the streets. So whether it was martial arts or football, American football or wrestling or different things. But the second reason was when I grew up in the 90s, it was Power Rangers,
Ah,
shows like
yeah,
Ninja Turtles, Dragon
yeah.
Ball Z, stuff like that. And these people literally fought others for good, you know? And I looked at it as, man, I want to fight bad guys to be a superhero. My father wants me to fight, and I want to fight to be a hero. I want to be a role model. So let me see if I can do that. And years later, multiple years later, I think now I've been training 30, or excuse me, 29 years. It's like, nah, wow, I'm now officially, I believe, a hero in some people's eyes, or a motivator, or a role model. So I've accomplished two goals: being the professional fighter and champion that my father knew I could be, and then also achieve my goal of trying my best to be a hero and role model.
Awesome, awesome. And what would you say is your favorite martial arts? I mean, you've done so many different systems.
For me, I mean, I love the box. I think it's because of my Mexican Puerto Rican heritage
Yeah.
of the war that they have in boxing, but my favorite is judo. And I think it's just because I'm the small guy that can throw big people. I always like to make memes and fun of, friends that are like, "Oh man, come on, you need to lift weights, you need to do this. We're gonna do strength and conditioning." I'm like, "Nah, dude, I don't lift weights, I lift people." Like my sport involves me throwing, short guys taller than me or really, really tall. I mean, you look at one of my former opponents in Kosi and Debele, our very first fight, I got him to do pretty much a front flip in the fight, and it's one of my highlight, reels where it's like even after the fight, I look at it like, dude, that's so cool. I did that. I did, you don't remember until the fight's over. So for me, judo, just because it's a gentle way, I'm able to, throw people and move them however I want when I want.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Of course, I guess the judo would also kind of mesh into Brazilian jiu-jitsu because they kind of sort of it's one is the progenitor of the other.
Yeah, yeah, and my jujitsu is more type of Japanese style jiu-jitsu,
Yeah,
given
yeah,
Brazilian jiu-jitsu comes from Japanese style jiu-jitsu, but Brazilian is more off your back, working defensively to work your offense. Japanese jiu-jitsu is more working on top and working the offense. And for me, with judo to my offense, that's my biggest thing. And I try my best not to throw people where I'm just going to throw them and that's it, or I'm going to throw them and land in their guard. No, I want to throw you and hurt you and land on the side mount or land in a mount or land in a very
Mhm,
dominant position.
mhm, mhm. So and that 25 and one that you faced, this was in IMAF, yeah?
Well, as an amateur, and then when I have 8 fights under the IMF banner, and that was
Yeah.
for the World Championships.
Okay. Well, what would you say is different between preparing for an amateur fight versus preparing for a professional fight?
Honestly, there's no difference. It's just more of your mentality of how much you take it, how serious you take it. An amateur fight, you look at it this way, and I tell people you can be 0-20, 20-0, 10-10. You turn pro, you're 0-0. Your
Yeah,
amateur career is just your resume. And it's your your proving ground, one, to see if you really want to do the sport, and then two, can you do the sport? Are you good enough to compete in the professional realm, or even is it even worth your time? But in the professional realm, there's a lot more things because a lot of fighters, I was blessed when I turned pro, I was sponsored, so I didn't need to work. I can focus my whole life on traveling and training and going against some of the best. But a lot of people need to work and
yeah,
also train at the same time. So can you multitask that? How motivated are you to do MMA? Because then you'll figure out your work hours, or you'll train with super little sleep just to get the work done. Or man, I really want to get a championship belt. Well, then you're going to need to fight really tough opponents. You're not going to, promoters know, oh man, this guy's 5-0, but he's beating guys with 0-0 records or negative records. No, people want really, really good fights. So being a professional is very hard because you also, especially in the beginning of your career, until you make a name, you're not getting paid much. You're getting paid a few $100s just to fight. And that's to fight, not just to win. So, you look at, for me, even my MMA career, let's say I make 10,000, like the UFC entry level money.
yeah,
Cool. I'm doing maybe a 2 to 3 month training camp, depending on if I know I have a fight. I have to think in my head that I'm gonna make for sure $10,000. But in the States, because medical bills are so high, maybe I need an MRI, X-ray, all these medical exams for a fight. I just spent maybe $1,000, 1,500 of that paycheck that I still haven't gotten. Then I have to pay my coaches for pads and
yeah,
personal
yeah,
work. Then maybe the healthy food or a dietitian if I really want to get professional early in my career. And then if I get close to the fight, and I've had this before, maybe even a day before the fight, my opponent goes, "Oh, I'm hurt and I can't fight," then I have no fight. I don't get paid to just be there, or I need to make weight first, and then automatically I get my 10,000.
yeah.
But then let's say, for example, my last 2 fights, I thought I won both of them easily, but the judges thought otherwise, and they're the ones that, the deciding factor. There goes half that paycheck. So that extra 10,000 that I wanted or expected, I did the job, but they gave it to the other guy. So it's a crazy, crazy sport of how dedicated and motivated are you for this? Because there's honestly not much to gain in this sport. I mean, so many people try it and so many people fail. So I've been fortunate enough to win multiple world championships, but the mindset of being a professional compared to being an amateur is very, very different. And I think that's the biggest thing. The skill level, yeah, obviously there's a difference, but it's the mindset of how you take these fights.
And from what you're telling me about your upbringing and the situation with your dad, it has to be mindset at the end of the day. How did doing that training in terms of the discipline, how did it alter and adjust your mindset to put you in the position where you could be so successful?
Um, I mean, I had positive role models next to me, not just my father being a positive like reinforcer, because he was always like, "Hey man, you could be like Mike Tyson, you can be like this fighter, that fighter." Even though he wasn't in the gym with me and working out, he also never let me stay home. He goes, "Hey, go train. I don't want you here. Go train, go do something with your life," because it didn't work out well for me. So hopefully I can at least, I might not be the best role model, but at least I can push you to get inside the gym. And the same thing with my mother and my brother. So I had people, in a sense, at times forcing me inside the gym. And then in the gym, especially when you're in the quote unquote hood, you have people who, in a sense, either are trying to be successful or failed at life and are now coming back to help the younger generation be successful. Like at least in my neighborhood, we had a lot of older 30, 40-year-olds that were already fathers, late in their life trying to start a career, and now they're coaches. They're like, hey man, I honestly I made I didn't make the best decisions. Let me help you. And those are people I could confide to, talk to, and relate a lot of the issues with. So I had a lot of positive male reinforcement that really, really helped me stay inside the gym. They were the ones that pushed me because I, at least inside the gym with my teams, I never had people tell me I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I had people tell me I could do it, but you have to do this. They would lay everything out like, hey man, I know you could do it, but there's all this work. Are you willing to do that work? I think you can, but are you going to do it? And I had a lot of positive people help me reinforce my mindset of myself.
Awesome, awesome. And we're talking about all this work because it sounds like a lot of work. What goes into preparing? We're talking about the training, we're talking about the conditioning, we're talking about the nutrition. What encompasses everything? What really you have to do to perform at that level?
The biggest thing for sure, especially for me, just because for people who don't know, I cut about 40 pounds, which is, a little over like I think it's like 17 or 18 kilos just
Yeah.
to make my fight. So let's see, I probably weigh 75 right now and I fight 57. So it's a lot of weight. So immediately at the start, I have to either hire a nutritionist, dietitian, or someone to figure things out, whether they're going to cook for me or at least give me a list of things I need to do. So I need to cook for myself and better prepare for that. But nutrition for sure is 100% the biggest thing because I remember in high school wrestling, no one taught us. So it's like, oh, Monday, but we weigh in Friday. I'm not going to eat or drink anything. And
Yeah.
then I'm just going to cut weight. And then Tuesday or Wednesday comes. And even though I had a great training practice on Monday, I'm dying on Tuesday and Wednesday and then dreading the whole sport. And I'm not motivated to do it. So I think the diet is a very, very huge thing. Even if you do cut little weight, you want to look like Rocky Balboa and
Yeah.
Rocky Four. You want to look jacked. So I want people to look at me and say, "Is he on juice?" Like I want people to think, I'm doing something crazy. But the mindset is hard, and I think the biggest thing is accepting that you have to do all this really, really hard work and that you are 100% going to be tired. You are going to get injured. You're going to get hurt. You're going to have bad days in practice. Can you mentally push through it? Because all these guys are pushing through it. You don't know what they're going through. Then why can't you? So doing all the practice 2, 3 times a day, for me, I run 5 miles every single day, whether I want to or not. I have to run 5 miles. I don't need to run it fast. I just need to run 5 miles. You can walk, as fast as I'm running. As
Yeah.
long as I get the 5 miles done, check. I have to get 15,000 steps in a day just to burn more calories. Again, I'm heavier in weight. I have to make sure I'm eating correctly. I'm working out 2 times a day. At least one of them has to be hard, whether I'm doing live jiu-jitsu or grappling or I'm sparring. The next practice has to be drills and working on maybe on what I worked on earlier and what I should have done. Um, and then just staying home. For me, I'm a person that loves to be social and out there, but I'm also a fat kid. So if I hang out with people, I'm gonna want to do what they do. Oh, they're eating. Oh man, I want to eat too. Or we're gonna go to a pizza place and hang out, and I want a slice of pizza. I don't. I'm a person that knows my triggers and knows my kryptonite. So I don't want to be around it as much as I want to be around people and my family and stuff. I travel and train. I stay home. I try to be as secluded and as personal as possible so I can just focus on what I need to do because the outside sources, even though they mean well, I know I'm going to use that as an excuse to maybe have a snack, maybe binge eat, or maybe even skip a practice because I want to hang out with my friends. So for me, I think making a training camp is 100% a mindset and accepting all the things you need to do. And I think for the most of us, for the most part, we know what we need to do. It's just actually doing it, and that's I think the biggest challenge in this sport.
And what I really applaud is you're such a cool, down-to-earth guy. I mean, the first time I met you, it was in Guyana. It was myself, and Dee who had her fight to prepare for, and you were taking pictures with us. We were having dinner with you. We were shaking hands. We were talking. It was really, really cool. And the fact that you can shift levels, sometimes people can't do that shift, you know. They're up there and they're dealing with what I call us the little guys. And it's like they're on a different level, but it's like you can come down to our level and still interact with us. And I really applaud you for that because at the end of the day, you don't even have to take the interview here. You don't really need my interview, but you're cool enough to say, okay, let me see how I can give back. Let me see how I can contribute back to the community. And you do that in so many different ways. You even have your own foundation. Tell me a little bit about your foundation and what it does and how it gives back.
The biggest thing before I get to the foundation is if I didn't get help from a lot of people, whether it's mental reinforcement or actual physical things with money or training or holding pads and doing, in a sense, generous for free things for me, I wouldn't have been where I'm at today. So if it weren't for people's help, I wouldn't have had, all the opportunities to that led me to where I'm at today. So that's why my motto is we can, we will together with our team Shorty. Whether you're a positive or negative in my life, you help me out in some sort of way. So you mentally reinforce me to keep on pushing forward. So for me, with that being said, my foundation, my father neglected me on purpose and pushed me to go inside the gym. And obviously my mother and my brother took me every day and helped me train for it. So for me was I had people that wanted to motivate me, that were there to push me, but they knew at the same time that they can only help me by putting me in front of other people, and that was inside the gym. To stay off the streets and be inside the gym. So if my foundation helps um kids, teenagers, and even young adults stay inside the gym and off the streets, whether I'm paying for monthly memberships, whether I'm buying them new gear, I'm sponsoring professional fighters, or funding people to go to clinics or training camps. I'm just trying to do different things because I'm trying to help people realize that they can do certain things or even stay inside the gym so they don't get in trouble. Again, the gym taught me responsibility. It taught me a lot of morals. It taught me a lot of things that I wasn't going to learn on the streets or at home. And for me, I think I'm a better person because of the people I was in front of inside the gym. Again, like I said, there was former gang members that were like trying to reinforce, hey man, you shouldn't do this because I did it. It failed. I failed. I want you to do that much better. So I learned from experience and from people. But for me, I sponsor good people. I don't sponsor good athletes. I don't care if you're going to be the next Michael Phelps in swimming. I don't care if you're going to be the next John Jones in MMA. I want to sponsor good people because at the end of the day, if you're paying it forward, I believe it should come in full circle. If I can do that, for those people and help them push forward, awesome. And again, I'm not telling everyone that I sponsored that, I want you to be a professional fighter. No, I just want you to stay off the streets. If you become a professional fighter one day, amazing. And if you don't, hopefully your time in the gym or the opportunity I was able to give you helps you become a better person so you can help other people in the future as well, or even have more of a confidence base to achieve the goals that you want to achieve.
That's awesome because I think I saw an interview recently with you and you sponsored an athlete called Torres, no relation, all
Coincidentally,
the
yeah.
way through his process down to flights, accommodation. What kind of background did he have and how did your assistance impact him in that way?
The crazy thing is, and I still talk to him today, is his name is Edgar Torres. Again, just
No relation.
coincidence. But um I was sponsoring athletes when I was in Florida, and I had a friend from Peru that was like, "Hey, man, I had this kid that I'm helping out. He's a good kid from a small village in Peru, and if you can help him out with a couple $100 for sponsorship, $200 is huge, in Peru with the currency exchange." So I was like, man, let me help him out, and then see where it goes. You're a good person, so I would hopefully believe that you're recommending a good person to me. Then this kid would call me and ask for advice. And I'm like, yeah, for sure. I'll talk to you, give you advice. But the cool thing was he was listening. He was doing everything, whether it worked for him or not, he was doing everything. And I was just like, man, this kid's trying to change his life. He's trying to get a better opportunity and he's trying to follow someone like myself, who I'm trying to be a mentor that I have more experience in the field that he wants to, achieve in. Cool, let me listen to this guy. So he would call me and take advice, and then he won an amateur fight. I was like, damn, this kid's pretty cool. He's good. He's taking my advice. And then he had another fight. I sponsor him again. It went his way. Then he took a professional fight. I was like, yeah, I'll sponsor you a professional career. Then he had his loss and he would confide in me and we would talk. Then he won and I would just keep sponsoring him. And one day, Brave was going to have a fight in Colombia. And being from Peru, it's right down the block. So I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? Let me talk to the promotion and see if I can bring him in as a fighter and we can fight on the same card. Originally, the local promotion, Colombia, said no, budget issues. It's expensive to fly people from different countries. I go, how about this? I'll take money out of my paycheck. I'll pay for his flight. I'll pay for the hotel. All you got to do is pay for him to fight, just like you're going to pay your Colombian fighters. Just nothing else out of expense. I will pay
Wow.
for everything. This will be my sponsorship to him for this fight. And so they're like, yeah, sure. If you're going to pay for everything, why not? And so, I flew in 2 weeks in advance to Colombia because it was in Bogota. It's one of the highest places in the world. So the elevation, the altitude is ridiculous. So him and I went and got to train there for 2 weeks with another Colombian fighter named Eduardo Mora. And man, we all became brothers. We all helped each other, celebrated my birthday down there together, and then we all won. Eduardo won, Edgar won, and then later on the night, I won the bantamweight championship for Brave.
Yeah.
So it was like, dude, this is amazing. We all got to enjoy ourselves, celebrate, and have a good time as a little family. But after that, he started fighting for the promotions, and I still sponsor him now, given he just lost his last fight. And again, it's one of those things where it's trying to remotivate him to get back to it. Now this kid has wrist, looks like he has a fight coming up and he's ready. So, it's cool to be able to help people. I mean, after he won his fight in Colombia, his mom sent me a video message with him in it, thanking me personally. I'm like, dude, this is awesome. One, because it's a very heartfelt message, but then seeing where he comes from, his house is made out of concrete and like,
Mhm.
they don't really have a roof in some certain areas. So I'm just like, this is cool that I'm helping people that actually need it, but that are good people trying to get back as well. And I know he helps a lot of kids in his neighborhood as well. So it's a really cool thing, man. So it's cool to sponsor people like that because you never know what they can do in their life to be able to give that back to somebody else later on.
And at the end of the day, the greatest reward is to see that they've changed their life and they're doing better now.
Yeah. I mean, it's, I don't have any kids. I'm the youngest, so I don't have a little brother, but I grew up always wanting to be a father and a big brother. So I've always mentored and helped. But to see people like, I felt like a parent when he won his fight
Yeah.
because he, got dropped in the first round and then came back and was able to win. And I remember he's giving a speech and not just talking about me, but where he's from. And I'm just like trying my best not to cry, like the tears slowly coming down. I'm like, so it was a cool thing, man, and it makes me feel proud. And again, if I'm able to help, and especially when people purchase out of my website, teamshorty.com, 100% of the proceeds from my t-shirts, my hats, all that stuff go to my foundation. So
Mhm.
it's able to give back. So knowing that I'm able to do that for the people who gave back to me and give it to new people, oh man, I'm finally close to, not there yet, but close to the level where I want to be, where I'm able to help a lot of people at the same time.
Jose! Shorty! Torres!
What's crazy is I only fought initially, well, for two reasons. One, because my father, gang upbringing, wanted me to fight. It just so happened that I had to learn how to defend myself against my very aggressive father that, if you want to say, had kind of like a tough learning type of thing. And I learned a lot very fast, to say that. And then my brother being 8 years older, naturally I had to learn how to defend myself. But then also 90s era kid, Attitude Era in wrestling, Dragon Ball Z became popular, all this anime came out, Power Rangers was really popular. So for me, I wanted to fight. Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, anything I watched on TV was aggressive, so naturally I was fighting Ninja Turtles, all that stuff. So I was like, man, Michelangelo from Ninja Turtles can do it. I see these people as role models, let me be like them, and the only way I know how is to fight for good. So for me, I want to leave the legacy that I fought everyone that had a name, everyone that I could possibly fight. I fought at 2 weight classes. I tried to fight at 3 when I was in my first promotion when I went pro. I tried to claim as many belts as I could, and for me, I wanted to show not just myself, my neighborhood, my family, and everyone around me that if this shorty can do it, why can't you?
Alright, guys, I hope you're enjoying this interview. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you could be notified when the next one comes out. See you guys in the next video.